Lee,
Yes, sir.
we're here, man.
We're here.
I'm excited.
You should be very
This
excited.
is like new age stuff, man.
Man,
We're doing right
we're
now.
high tech.
Like no mic, like the wireless stuff.
Wireless, baby.
We're gonna have to switch up the whole scenery in here, man.
Yeah.
So,
Updating the studio.
yeah, man.
That's good.
But the race, we're gonna talk about the race today. How'd you feel
I
about
don't know if I want to talk about the race.
I felt great about it, man.
Well,
I liked it.
there's several versions of the story.
Several versions.
Yeah. So I'll start off with this version. You and
Yeah.
my wife
Yeah.
finished before me. So I'll let the listeners determine how that feels for me.
Right. Yeah.
So I registered me and my wife. Said, hey, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And me and my wife.
When did y'all register though? Because I registered like at late December, but y'all were like,
oh yeah,
way before that.
Yeah, way before. I mean, it's a couple months before that date.
Yeah.
But me and my wife like to joke. Because in the CrossFit Games, they have the world's fittest man.
Have you seen the documentary?
Yeah,
did you watch the documentary of her?
Yeah. To me.
Yeah.
So we joke with some stuff, you know what I'm saying? And we've been, we went out and did some trail runs and some hikes and just, we didn't want the race to be the
Sufferfest, or at least
right, or like the first time you did
Sufferfest
distance or the time or anything.
Right.
It's like the race day. Like that don't make sense. But so we jokingly be like, man, you flew past me like 10 to me. And then because she always greets the people at the end.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are passed out, laid out on the floor.
They're like done.
After the
They're
race,
gassed.
Yeah. And she's patting them on the shoulder like,
yeah.
Oh, good race, it's like, good job.
How do you have that much?
Yeah, like what have you done?
Yeah.
In your life, in your regimen,
right,
in your training, to be like unfazed,
right? Yeah.
So we always like to joke and be like, you flew past me like, whatever one is. But yeah, so it happened. I did a couple, and I Tumi'd her, just to mess with her.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that.
She was the first one to cross the line, man.
Yeah, she has a competitive nature, man. She's a competitor.
Yeah.
Like you ain't gonna pass me.
Her strategy. I liked her strategy.
She had a strategy.
Well, it was.
I don't think she needed a strategy.
Well, yeah, I don't think she did. But
for me.
But it was because I'm more of like I want to try to keep a constant pace.
Yeah.
As much as I can. Like I'm not like I'm gonna run.
She was doing her intervals, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And that's what I think. Yeah, that's what it was like. Like
she resorted back to her training, like
Because honestly, man, I don't know how people go fully on that whole trail run because it was. I mean, the culvert with the water.
Oh yeah. So the thing with that is,
I mean,
out here in Atlanta, we had tornado warning.
Yeah,
and we had like storms.
I didn't even know if we were going to be able to do the race.
Yeah, it rained 6 hours straight, like pour rain.
Yeah,
before start time, and then because even you mentioned it, we get an email. The night before the race, like
headlamps.
Hey, you might
make sure you have a headlamp.
If you have a headlamp, you need to bring your headlamp.
Right.
Because it's like, oh yeah, the race, the start time is in the dark.
It literally was in the dark, man. Like if you didn't have a headlamp, you better be with somebody with a headlamp.
And you go right into the woods.
Yeah.
In the dark. And you got like 40 minutes worth of, or 30, at least 30.
At least 30, 40 minutes. Before you could see, like.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you just see the conditions. And the only reason I'm saying that is because to a person that's maybe weak-minded, it can psych you out, man.
It really can.
Be like, it's tornado warning. It's been raining.
I'm serious, man.
You get the email, it's dark out, and then you start to get like,
It's like,
am I,
I
am I
mean,
thinking
this is how I
this
got
real?
it, because I was looking at it, because the whole week everybody kept talking about this storm coming in.
Yeah.
And so Friday roll, and I'm looking, I checked their email, I checked the frequently asked question things on their site, and it's like
Rain or shine, baby.
rain or shine, snow, whatever.
Yeah.
Still doing the run. I'm like, and they said they're gonna email you 2 days, 1 to 2 days before the race. So I'm like, okay, I got 1 to 2 days. Friday rolls around.
Right.
Nothing. The storm ain't even come yet. Like, it's not even here.
It's not you.
Next day, nothing.
And you're looking for
nothing.
I'm not looking for it. At least your version.
I'm not looking
your
for
version.
I'm not looking for no, like, there's no alert. There's no, oh, we're going to delay. We're going to postpone. Nothing. So that day, like Saturday, I'm like, because I was telling Candace, like, because we stayed up a little bit later just to make sure, because, you know, tornado warnings and stuff like that. We don't know what's going to happen.
It's tornadoes, man.
This is like 11 o'clock, man. I got to get up. We got to get up and get there at 6. And it's an hour, a little over an hour drive for me to get there. So I'm like, I got to get up at 4.
Yeah, committed. So it's a different deal.
I'm like, I ain't got an email. So I'm like, okay. And it's crazy how it happened though, but like it was no rain. When we get there, no rain.
What'd you think when you text me and said, "Hey man"?
Oh yeah, were you joking?
I was holding on to
oh, I didn't sign up, man. I didn't.
I was like, you thought
I was still committed. I was still committed.
That's good.
Even when you sent the text. I mean, I knew you were joking. Because I'm like, we've been talking about this the whole time. I'm like, I know he's messing with me. But
I didn't sign up, man. I was just doing it to get you back out there.
Still would have done it.
That's good.
But man, it was. I haven't done a lot of trail runs.
Yeah.
But that was a really fun trail run, to be honest with you. It was fun. Yeah. Like the culvert, just the whole different terrain that you're having to run.
Yeah. They threw a lot at us, man, and the miles and the mileage.
I mean, and then what got me the most is the support you get, man, throughout the whole race.
Oh yeah,
it's like everybody, like the guys that were the ultras, were running past you, and they're like, "Good job, man! Like keep it up. You're almost there." Yeah. And I'm like, "How in the world are these guys running at this fast?"
Well, look, so this is so great. So either. Well, I don't like to incriminate you, but my wife was like, she was like, I told her about that. I was like, man, people are telling me good job, keep going, do it. And then she's like, I didn't really get that much. And I was like, it's either one or two things. They noticed that you didn't need it.
They knew you were saying you needed it,
or that I needed it. I was suffering, and I needed some extra encouragement.
It's like this guy needs some help, so we go.
Let's encourage him. But
it was fun though, man. It was fun. Like even with how cold it was, especially when we got in the culvert, man. Like it felt like I was in an ice bath when I got out. I couldn't barely feel my legs.
Man, Jamie said that was the best part for him.
I loved it.
He said it was so refreshing.
The first go in, because I didn't know we had to go back into it. Yeah. The first go in, I was like, okay, this is good. The second go, man, I was ready to dunk myself in the whole thing. I was like, it's
swim.
Because it gets the mud off you and all that stuff. But then it's like, I guarantee if it was warmer, oh man, people would be loving that. Yeah, for sure.
Jamie said it was the best. The best part of it was like, it wasn't expected.
Right.
But then when he got in, and you could look at him like, I gotta get in that water.
Right. You're running up on it, and you're like,
Jamie's not as tall as us.
Yeah.
So not to say like that, but if it's like, okay, well, it's up to your thighs, it's up to his
waistline.
It's his belly,
different.
It's higher for him. Yeah. But for him to say like him getting in and whatever mindset that took place for him to be like, and then to say, looking back, that was a thing for him, like a breakthrough, takeaway. So that's cool. And it's like with the, when we were talking about some of the weather, it's, my mindset, we're showing up. The only way that we're not running this race is if they cancel it.
Right. That was my whole mindset.
They're gonna have to say
they'll have to cancel it.
They're gonna have to say, hey, this ain't. I think we joked on the line.
Yeah.
And we were like, man, it's gonna have to be a state of emergency issued by the governor that they're gonna shut down, and we're not running.
That's what it felt like. Like they were going.
It's gonna be a state of emergency.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, y'all can't do this. Out here. Y'all gotta shut it down.
That's what it felt like.
But that's where is the level of commitment in other areas of your life? So sometimes we get on here thinking like, oh, where is it? Like, no matter what, you're going to do what you said you're going to do.
Yeah.
And it's going to have to take an outside circumstance where it's like, hey, now that you're done. But it's going to be nothing within what you can control that says you're done. That's the difference, man.
That's the key.
And then, while y'all are Tia Tuming me and blowing past me, you know what I'm saying? Pat me on the shoulder like, good job, keep it up. Man. I'm like, man, okay.
It's running your race is what it is.
And you have to know that. So that's the same way because you know how the circumstance with Jamie ended up happening. It's like, oh, well, we didn't see him. We didn't.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, but it didn't matter because he had a race to run.
Right.
And then when you really look at it, if he would have been with us, or even if I would have endeavored to keep up with you, or keep up with my wife, or be with Jamie, or find Jamie, whatever. Wait for Jamie. Not saying that he was slow running.
No, he wasn't. Not from what.
Not for the time.
Not from what the time he had.
But the thing is, so when we were looking at the schedule, start time of the race, 2 hours or an hour and 50 minutes later.
I think the limit was 3 hours. Like they gave you 3 hours.
So it's like, okay, they were gonna give awards out for that race.
I remember because I said
hour and 50 minutes.
I was like, my goal before even getting there was I need to be under 2 hours. Yeah. And then it come to find out, well, they're gonna do that. They're gonna do the awards in 2 hours once they start the race. So I'm like, well, that's my goal, man. Right.
And I had the same goal. I said, because just something in your spirit. You look at it, it's like, okay, you mean to tell me I start the race,
right?
And before I finish, they're going to be heading out awards, and I'm still out there.
Yeah,
we got to be back.
Right.
We got to be back before that.
Like I got to at least be there for the awards.
So, at least when I made it back, I did hear them.
You hear them? Yeah,
I hear their awards. Yeah. Like now, where I stand and watching them give out their awards, no, because I was still like coming in the arena. But I made it. Yeah. Now, the thing, I just want to give a few more pieces while we're out there. So I told you, you did some running, training, hikes, whatever. So did I. Did the distance a couple times, several times, hike, whatever. On the race. So then this is how the mind trick is what we call it. Yeah. Trying to trick you, steal your victory. Right. The enemy's throwing darts. Yeah. So y'all are you've left me, right?
I know exactly where you're going.
Y'all have left.
This is hilarious.
It shouldn't be saying left. My version, while I'm suffering, is y'all have left. The true version is y'all are running your race. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Y'all are running y'all's race. And I asked to have a water station along the trail. You saw it. I asked the little lady. I said, "Hey."
Oh man.
How far are we in?
I didn't even ask.
And I was just trying to gauge.
Yeah.
And she was like, she said, 3 miles. And then the way I felt.
It was like a dagger, man.
The way I felt. I had to really like regroup.
Right. Because
it almost took
I'm halfway.
It was almost. You'd have to have been there. It almost took the life out of me. The little life I had left.
Oh, man.
The little I had left.
Yeah, I know.
She said, "You're about 3 miles." So then, I'm still jogging.
Oh, man.
I'm still jogging.
Yeah.
I was like, man.
This is insane.
I really I had to go through a quick process. Like, okay, it's raining, mud, hills. Like, is it possible that we really have only did half. It's like the half because of the hills and the mud and the circumstance and you can't see for 40 minutes of it unless you got your lamp. And we had the lamps. I'm like,
there's a level to it, man.
I'm
There
like,
is something about a trail run where you think you're going longer than you really are,
yeah.
and it's like, no, you're only halfway there. Because
Right,
it's like,
right.
I looked at the map because they sent you the map,
Yeah,
so I'm like, I'm looking at this map
I
trying to
need to know
figure
where
out
I'm going.
elevation stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow,
Yeah,
this is gonna be intense.
Yeah. this is gonna be intense.
And then you get to the thing where it's like, okay, this is the halfway mark. I'm like, and so in my head, I'm thinking this as I'm running. I'm like, bro, this is taking a long time.
Yeah, it's a long. So then I get, maybe 5 to 7 paces back past her. I said, what time is, because I didn't have none. I put my stuff in the locker.
Right.
What time is it? And then she told me the time.
Oh man.
And I said,
that's a whole
but
that's
the only reason why I knew, like, I went through a quick process because it was trying to steal the life out of me. I'm like, I went through that. It was still, what time is it? So it's like, it's very fast.
Yeah.
And she told me the time, and I was like, ain't no way, I'm further than that.
Yeah, and you were, because technically the water station was 3.5 miles. Yeah,
I was farther.
Or at least what it said on the map.
Yeah, I was farther.
Yeah.
So then I just a little bit.
Yeah.
I saw a person with one of the Garmin's or whatever,
doing the mileage thing.
Yeah, doing the mile. I was like, "Where's your thing? Where's your Garmin? Say how far I went." Like, man, 5.2. I was like, and it wasn't long.
Yeah.
Before she tried to suck the life out of me. Even for anybody volunteering, just tell the person. Well, it could be.
Yeah.
Tell the person you're further than you are than you're not. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
So you got to tell
really
the truth.
messing
You got to tell the truth. Yeah. But it's like the same way people are encouraging you. It's like, does this person need encouragement or does this person need?
Right.
You got to be able to discern that.
Right.
But anyway. So then there's one other time two times, but I'll tell the first one. Then it's the switchbacks going up the hill.
Oh,
the steepest part of the thing.
I felt the same way, dude. Because there was people ahead of us.
Right.
And I'm like, they're so close.
No, but this is literally, I'm
they're
like, okay, well,
so close.
I'm like, because I didn't see y'all for a long time.
Yeah.
So then I saw you. I'm like, well, they're right there. The enemy threw another dart.
Yeah.
And, I know the trail. I can see the markings.
Right.
I'm like, the trail's going up this mountain. But they're right there.
Right.
And I'll be lying if I didn't say, like,
I could just
cross.
Cut right down.
I could just cut right on. And
then skip the whole thing.
I can't go in front of them because they'll be like, how you got ahead of me? And then, but I was like, well, I could just let them go and then be right behind them. They were like, man, this man's he killed it. He caught up.
Right,
like that.
man. I was like, man, he got a second win.
He got a second win. Or he was sandbagging the whole time. He let us get out there and then he gonna come pat us on the shoulder like, man, what's going on? It's like, you didn't do the highest part of the trail, man. But to say like, well, would the chip show like a? No, this is how deep the thing goes. When you're suffering, this is how deep the thoughts go. When the fiery darts start coming. Will it be a straight line? And they'll be like, man, you're disqualified, man. The trail didn't go like that.
DQ.
So it's like my spirit man endeavoring not to be flesh. Like, well, you're suffering.
There was points like that.
Get to where you got to get.
Because the switchbacks, for real though, those switchbacks.
Yeah.
If you're looking at the markers, was it the blue markers, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
There was cutoffs
ones where
would drop where you wouldn't have to do the switchback.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I got to do the marker. Like, I got to follow the marker.
Follow the marker. So you could play and be like, well, I thought.
Yeah.
The last I thought the trail went that way.
Right.
No, there's no way you thought
that.
though.
Man, because they put the blue marker right.
Ain't no way that you thought the trail didn't add the 700 feet elevation.
But
so
it was.
So I stayed the course. I didn't let it get tricked to be like, oh man, you finished wherever you finished. And you have to get the feedback of like, okay, well, that's where you're at in your journey and your process and your training. Mm-hmm. That's where you're at in your process and your training. So then, did you jump over the fire?
Yeah.
Me too.
And that, see, in
'Cause
my
there's
head,
some places
in my
like-
head, I was going like, I'm exhausted. Like my legs.
And then you go to get that last little, you fall face
And then
first
I'm
on the
like,
fire.
but I was like, nah, I'm going to do it. Because there's a part of me, like, if you start running at a constant pace, your body gets used to it.
Yeah.
And you got to kick it out of that gear. Like, you got to loosen up the.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to be able to.
And
you don't realize it, but you got more than what you think you do on that stuff. But the hills, man, that's what got me was that last part before you get to the final, like push to the finish line.
Yeah.
The hills,
Yeah.
like I've never felt my legs feel like that ever. They felt like cement. It was crazy trying to get up that hill.
I think they do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like between the mud areas where you're having to run
and
a
the
certain
fact
way,
that you get in the culvert, the water weighs your shoes down. Now you're
we ran on the granite surface for a while.
Yeah, the slippery,
we were running
the rock,
the sand, the dirt, the hill, the switchbacks. It's literally like levels to say, okay, where are you at with your fitness? And then, so I finished, and I'm like, I'm not a 3-hour guy.
Right.
So, you got 3 hours. I'm not like a 2:59.
Right.
I'm not one of those. Get back. You're supposed to get a finisher medal.
Oh,
you're supposed to get a T-shirt.
And you weren't the only one. That was what's crazy about it.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
You weren't the only one.
I like, hey, I'm finishing. They're like, oh, we're out of medals.
We're out of medals.
I
was like,
and then
they're
like, oh, you're gonna have to go see that lady because this is a volunteer. So I didn't give her my peace of mind because it's a volunteer. Like she's not controlling anything.
Right.
So then I go to the staff person and say, hey, I need a medal. He said, ain't no more medals. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to send an email.
Ooh, man.
And I said, what? If 200 people sign up for this race, you should have 200 medals.
Right. Period. Like,
and if you're doing it magnificent like our brand, you have 250.
Extra, yeah.
Because people might walk up the day up and like, oh, I brought my buddy on. He wants to run too.
Right.
So you mean to tell me I paid my money?
Man.
Now I finished the race?
Yeah.
And you don't have what you said I paid for? And I did my part?
Right. Don't make sense.
Makes sense. So energetically, I was like, what?
Right.
And then another guy after me, he was like, he went behind the table.
Was like, I'm getting
going,
a medal.
He was going through
like,
the medals. I'm like,
yeah.
What you mean? There's boxes of medals right here.
Right. They had a bunch of them, but it wasn't the trail race.
It wasn't the trail race one.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So then, more people are starting to pile up.
They start piling up.
Okay. So at one point, it was like, just so you understand, this is an enemy moment, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you took too long to finish the race, huh?
Ooh.
That's why you don't get no medal.
Right.
If you would have finished sooner, if you would have been up there with your wife and Brandon, you would have got you one.
Right.
I mean,
that's how that.
So, but then you have to be internal. You have to internalize and say, I'm not allowing you to trick me.
Right.
I finished the race just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all need to figure this out. So they go and find, oh, let me go, sir. Let me go look. Oh, we got plenty of medals. We got boxes of medals.
Right.
But could you imagine for all the people that didn't finish until after me?
Right.
Including Jamie,
there were several people.
Including Jamie.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? I invited Jamie.
He didn't.
And then, like, for me, because I was already questioning, like, do I want the medal? Is it about the medal? Is the medal an idol? Like, I don't need to be focused on the medal.
Right.
So I've already had that before. So it's like, it's interesting that this took place at me.
Right.
But then to say, like, it's not about that. It's about the principle.
Mm-hmm.
This is what, out of everything, this is the main part of this. And then for how many people finished after me, I had to be the one to stand in the gap. But if we bring it back to Jamie, to be like, hey man, come out here, run your race, you do your thing. And they're like,
oh, you didn't get a medal.
So then, and I'm just saying, maybe
you were supposed to get a medal.
Maybe he could speak to it, but not to say he couldn't handle it, but out of the two people,
Yeah.
I would have gave him mine.
Exactly. Right.
In this dynamic to be like, what you mean? I'm like, his first time out, and he can't even go home to his and be like, look what I was able to do. Look what I did.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sense of accomplishment. You stand in the picture, you got your medal around your neck.
Right.
You don't have that?
Right.
So it's interesting. It's like the way it fell.
It really was, man. Because I was
for
like,
it to be like,
I was
because there's
so
a possibility
surprised.
that if I finish sooner with y'all,
yeah,
that those other people,
and they may not have done what you did.
Yeah.
They may not.
They might have just been like, "Oh, I sent an email." It's like, no.
I remember one
email.
lady. She said that they did something like that,
Right.
and she was still waiting.
Still waiting. And I'm not. So this place, people. This is where this might be for people, business owners, coaches, school, whatever, companies, corporate. We have to get back to how does a person tell you, say, hey, you need to send an email so we can get you, compared to, no, you need to take my information down and you need to get it to the person that is in charge of that to get me my medal. Don't play with me and have me do your job, and you're the one that fell short.
That's what surprised me. They didn't even say, hey, what's your contact, what's your information? They didn't even go to that level.
I'll call the founder
right.
and be like, I get your emails,
right.
I get your marketing, I get you this, and then you have people finishing races and you don't have medals.
Right.
What kind of operation you running? If you want me to send an email, that's the one I'm sending.
Right. Yeah. Really. But it was so crazy how that worked out, though.
Yeah. But it all happened for a reason. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, it was good. And now the last thing that we can, this race stuff, man. Hopefully you learned something. But we want to talk about it, man. We
have to.
We made this happen. You remember I told you I registered my wife. Mm-hmm. Well, she's registered us. For next year. Oh, we're running again.
You're ready again?
Okay.
Me too.
What have I got into?
I'm signing up, man.
What have I started? So yeah, Jamie's in already too.
Yeah.
So we're in, man.
I mean, it's like
we're probably gonna see about getting a team.
Oh, that'd be good.
Might make you some shirts, man.
Yeah, man.
Put it on Meetup. Like, y'all want to join the team? We're out there. We already know the dates. Like, come out there with us, man. Mm-hmm. Don't talk yourself out of it. You could walk it in the time that's allotted.
You really can. I mean, you really can.
You really can.
It ain't crazy.
You remember the guy at registration?
Yeah.
I was like, when we were just talking, I said, man, the only goal I have is I got to beat my wife. And he was like, man, I'll trip her if you need me to over there. I was like, yeah, you can do that. But older gentleman.
Yeah.
And so he, and Jamie actually saw him out on the trail. And it was funny because we talked and we saw him at registration and Jamie saw him out on the trail. Mm-hmm. But people of all ages, all backgrounds.
All ages, man.
All circumstances, all situations, just out there doing it. So it's like people talk themselves out. Like, oh, I don't want to get this and I don't want to get... Everybody has an old pair of shoes, man. Come on.
Right. Yeah.
Put on your old pair of shoes. Put on your yard clothes if you're... Whatever.
Yeah,
come on out here, man. So yeah. But yeah, I loved it, man. So
a whole lot of fun.
It's probably annual now.
I know, man.
Probably an annual thing now.
The way that's set up, I was like, wow, this is like it's.
Yeah. Wonder how they're gonna take the course next year.
Yeah, because they change it every year, right? Technically,
there's gonna be some change.
I mean, the area it's at is huge. They can do a whole bunch of stuff.
They'll at least make the trail run a different route. It won't be the same route.
Right.
But yeah, so that was it, man.
That's it, man.
10K.
10K.
Didn't get tricked.
Nope.
Loved it. Till next time.
This is your co-host here, Braxton Matson, and Lee and I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it just as much as we did making it, but we couldn't do it without you. So please hit that like button, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Let us know what topic or subject that you would like us to talk about in your journey from mediocre to magnificent. But most of all, share it. Be the ripple effect of magnificence and know that you are magnificent in everything you do. Till next time.